In order for you to become an honorary ninja, you will need to understand how to move like a ninja. The movement system in Dirty Bomb would seem to look like any other first-person shooter on the market with your standard 2 speeds of movement, walking and sprinting, until you discover the mechanic of wall jumping. Wall jumping can get you to certain areas of a map that you may have not thought possible to reach. But it is, and it is very simple to wall jump in this game. You just press the jump button again while against a wall. Now that's all well and good for you to access routes that you could not reach before, but there is a somewhat secret technique that some of you may not know about, and that is long jumping, which is also known as crouch jumping. This technique involves you sprinting, then you tap the crouch key, then immediately hitting the jump button. This jump will make you travel much further than a regular jump, but at the moment you land, your movement speed is reduced for a second, then you go back to regular sprint speed. When you combine this technique with wall jumping off walls as well, you will see that you are suddenly faster at getting to places in the game's maps. Now, if you think that long jumping is a pain in the ass to constantly do by pressing multiple buttons, yes, I agree with you. So, to make this whole process easier for myself and you, there is a keybinding you can use so you don't need to press 2 buttons in quick succession. You can just press 1. In order to use this keybinding, you must go on the in-game console while in the game itself and type this into it. If you don't know how to type it, just copy it off in the description below. This will assign the button combination, and you can simply press the LeftAlt button, or any other button of your choice, on your keyboard while sprinting to do a long jump. So, if you use the combo of sprinting plus long jumping plus wall jumping off walls, you will get around the maps way faster than before, and while you may not reach the speed of the other lightweight mercenaries in the game, you will be pretty fast, and can be helpful in combat for confusing your enemy and for retreating. There is no shame in retreating from a fight you can't win. Even the blade has the plan of dispersal sometimes to recover. I would discuss the different routes you can take while using this technique, but there are already a few videos on YouTube that cover this, so I would suggest looking at those videos yourself. Here are a few tips for you related to monkey style. Make sure you only use monkey style when the need arises. Some people just use the technique as a sort of panic button when they are under fire. This may help sometimes, but most of the time it's just delaying their imminent death. So here's a clip of it being used effectively. Note how I notice that the enemy outnumbers me, and this would be a fight I would lose horribly. So I would retreat to a safe spot by using monkey style. Monkey style, when combined with blade style, is a deadly force to be reckoned with. The combination of a fast-moving target with a damaging melee weapon makes for a deadly foe. However, just like gun style, you will need to note distance and the amount of enemies there. Would you reach that enemy at the end of the hallway with your blade before he guns you down? No? Well, just use the gun instead. But if you can reach him with the sword, make sure that you make yourself hard to hit, or else you will die a swift death. A combination of monkey style and ghost style, which will be discussed in a later video, mostly does not go well for a phantom, because your high speed of movement makes your cloak stand out more and makes it more noisy. If you are trying to be sneaky, I recommend not using monkey style, or else you'll be easier to notice. Ah yes, the blade. This sword has taken many lives, has been soaked in blood many times, and in the hands of a master, makes the Phantom more fearful than other people realize. The blade is the #1 reason why I like this game, and you can see why by looking at my channel as a whole, and looking at my in-game profile stats. It's a sight to behold. Now let's get to discussing it. The katana, as you normal people would call it, is Japanese for backsword, and it is one of the traditionally made Japanese swords, or Naihonto some people call it, that were used by the samurai of ancient and feudal Japan. The production of swords in Japan is divided in specific time periods, and the one we are in today is known as Shinshakuto. But we are not here to discuss about the weapon's history, oh no. we are here to discuss Phantom's katana, and I will ignore the kawaii bitch that stole it. The first topic I want to discuss about the blade is the augments that improve it, Chopper and Quick Slash, which basically boils down to more damage and more speed. The blade, without the Chopper augment, does 60 swing damage. With it, it does 69 swing damage. That does not marginally improve the damage that much with only 9 more, but stabbing damage is slightly more important. Without Chopper, it does 90 stab damage, which effectively makes it a one-hit kill weapon against Aura, Sparks, Amy, Kawaii Bitch, and Proxy. With Chopper, it does 104 stab damage, which puts Phoenix in the one-hit kill zone as well. For everyone else except Fragger, Thunder, and Rhino, it's gonna have to be 2 hits, no matter if it's a stab or swing with Chopper or not. While with Fragger and Thunder, it will be 3 swings or 2 stabs with or without Chopper, while with Rhino, 4 swings without Chopper, 3 swings with it, 3 stabs without Chopper, or 2 stabs with Chopper. These are all relevant numbers considering the overall effectiveness of Chopper against other mercenaries. Now for Quick Slash, it just makes you swing the sword 25% faster. It does not change any damage numbers. Now the choice of which one of these is more effective to you is your own decision. But I mostly see myself use Quick Slash because I find that it kills enemies faster for me and I can still one-hit most of the lightweights, except Phoenix of course. I don't see myself completely meleeing the fat mercs anyway, which are the ones that take 3 or more swings, because most of the time I'll be killed first, which is more likely to happen if you don't have the Quick Slash augment. So I would either swing once or twice and pull out my gun, or just pull out my gun against these mercs. It also helps when dueling Phantoms who don't have Quick Slash, because most of the time more speed is better than more damage. And unfortunately, due to my presence in the Dirty Bomb community, there is always a fucking Phantom that wants to duel me whenever I play. Now let's focus on flanking / backstabbing. As a Phantom, you really don't want to attack the enemy when the gun and the enemy holding it is pointed in your general direction, because you will most likely just die really quickly without a kill. That's why all Phantoms must learn the art of flanking. This involves you sneaking behind enemy lines undetected and engaging them while their backs are turned, as demonstrated in this clip. Backstabbing is way better because most of the time the enemy won't be able to react fast enough to run away or try to engage you, which is why the element of surprise is the key to victory as Phantom, and it's generally better to sneak upon them from behind so you can blade them all. Now here are a couple of tips related to blade style. Since melee involves a lot of close quarters combat, make sure you focus on areas that are close quarters. For example, try and stick to areas like staircases, buildings, and near ammo crates. A Phantom should really not be out in the open at all because you'll be less effective with the weapons he has. So combine close quarters with the blade and monkey style and you will be slightly harder to kill and you will get more kills. Know when to stab or not to stab. In my opinion, swinging is more effective than stabbing because stabbing is slower than swinging, even with Quick Slash. I mostly only stab if the target is stationary and not moving, which you should never do in this game. Keep moving and never stand completely still or you will more likely die since you will be easier to hit. I will also only attempt to stab if it's a lightweight, otherwise you should prioritize swinging at the enemy instead. If you find a group of 2 or more enemies, do not engage them unless they all have their backs turned or if they are distracted by your teammates. Distractions are a good way of netting kills as Phantom because the enemy will probably not engage you due to your teammates firing at them. Although sometimes teammates will call you a dick for stealing their kill, but in the end, you helped them, so whatever. If an enemy jumps out of melee range while you are blading, you have 3 options. 1. You can either use monkey style to jump near him and blade again. 2. Finish him with your gun instead. Or 3. Retreat. These are the options available to you whenever you engage one-on-one with another mercenary. Your decision will be based on a number of factors like which merc are you attacking and if the enemy is close to his friends, or if he's actually nearly dead. This sort of quick thinking is what makes some Phantom players better than the others, which is why you need to practice that too. If an enemy is running away from you though, just shoot him instead of chasing. And that's it for part 2. In the next part, I will talk about Ghost Style, which involves stealth and your EMP cloak, discuss all the loadouts available for Phantom, and show you the ones that are good, and give more general tips and tricks related to Phantom. By you. Yes, now I want your tips and tricks related to Phantom if you have any. I will also answer questions related to me playing as Phantom too, so if you have any tips or questions, put them as a YouTube comment below and I will put your tips in the video and will answer your questions, since part 3 might be the final one. Later, Dirty Bombers. Now study the blade.